At this time, public comment. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand and we will go to you. Ms. Cross, you are, hold on one second. Let me see.
Hi, Betsy, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
I'm disappointed that you gave this presentation, but you didn't put up ahead of time. And, you know, I'm here taking pictures of the slides. So quickly, if you could go over salaries for regular instruction and special instruction are going to be an extra $1,896,086, and and support services is going up $356,976. Your 2% change, you only have $1.3 million, so that means you're going to be cutting an awful lot from the students. So could you let me know, how did you come up with those numbers and where are you going to cut? Because I don't see Mr. Smyth cutting anything. Those are some very quick numbers that I was able to do. I got a neighboring town's presentation in one of your slides, and their numbers are different than your numbers. So their cost per student was higher than what you have in yours. I'm not sure where you're getting your numbers, because the Wall numbers, including transportation, are much higher than what you just gave. You should have online your advertised per pupil cost calculations. I have Ocean Township at $21,386, which is lower than what you just showed us. So I don't know where you're coming up with your numbers, but you should really put a footnote. And we really, you know, you're looking to cut all this from the students. We need to know what you're cutting. Also, last year you had a slide, and it was talked about what you were buying. Roof replacement, $160,000. Replacement of 5 buses, $129,000. High school smoke detectors, $40,000 that you never bought. Painting the exterior West Belmore, $40,000. You never did that. Door replacements at Intermediate, Allenwood, and Central. You only bought the Central. So this is what I said at the last, I think, 2 or 3 meetings. You have to go back and look at your budget presentation from last year, Dr. Cram, and the board should update what they actually spent from what they budgeted. And now you have $1.3 million, and you're spending $2.5 million just on salaries extra. So we really need a much better presentation. I'm going to say this is the 10th year in a row I've said the same exact thing. Could you also go over residency investigations? Last year you had 28 students. It just kind of stands out with this food service only serving 151 meals, you know. In these trying times, you know, we need to be sure that everybody you have signed up for, you know, the meals are getting them. You have safety precautions in place so that workers are working and they're safe. And that figure out why in these hard times with the pandemic, how did we not have 250 people get meals? So, you know, I would like a residency check for the whole school. That should have been done a long time ago. And, you know, get the meals to the people that need them. Mr. Hall, you kind of went over some banking information last time, and you said you sat down with Mr. Smyth and you looked at it. I think we have $13 million sitting in the bank now. Could you go over how much interest we made last month, Mr. Smyth? And Mr. Cram, I'd like you to look at that as well. Mr. Smyth, we had a contract with TD Bank where we had no bank fees and we were getting interest, and then all of a sudden it changed. So in addition to you looking at the trailers, I would really appreciate if you would look at TD Bank and figure out what was going on there, because that doesn't make any sense. Mr. Cram, if you could let us know, how are you going to investigate the trailers? I have binders and binders of information, and I want to be sure that you have it, because when you do your timeline back to 2007, I want to be sure you have every document that I have. And if something comes across that maybe something wasn't right and you need to contact somebody, I want to be sure you have it. So, parents have been trying to get to the bottom of the Central School trailers. We've been getting the runaround since August 20th. It's now April 21st. I want to go over the online. I think you should give out another survey. A shout out to my son's history teacher, Jennifer McGuire. She's doing a great job with history. All of my son's teachers are this week. Everybody, I'm seeing an improvement. So I'm glad that I mentioned it at the last week. I do want to see more in math. I do want to see more in English. But I've seen an increase this week from what I have seen over the last 4 weeks. And maybe, Mr. Cram, maybe you can reach out to Ridgewood, Milburn. What are they doing? So, let's not reinvent the wheel here. If somebody has something that's working in another school district, let's just ask them how they did it. Because parents are getting frustrated. I spend a lot of time every morning printing off documents for my son that he needs that I think is easier rather than him looking at it on a small screen. And then I've sent in a number of emails. I try and go up the chain of command like everybody asked me to. I go to Brian Smyth, it goes nowhere. I go to the board, Ralph Addonizio, it goes nowhere. I've gone to Dr. Cram. Then I go to Lester Richards. Then I go
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Right. If you could answer my questions. Thank you.